This picture is printed on metal, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to make these from home, just like this, the same way I do every day here in my business. And if you don't like something like that, you can make something like this, or like this. Now, since you're probably new here, the process for making these is called dye sublimation. And basically what happens is you print onto a piece of paper, you then take that piece of paper and you heat press it onto this aluminum. And what happens is the ink on that paper transfers into the top coating of this aluminum. There's a little more to it, but that's basically the simplest way I can explain it. Now, if you have heard of sublimation, you can sublimate on all kinds of things. So mugs, different types of glass, fabric, phone cases, anything you can think of, there's pretty much a way to sublimate on that. We're just doing metal prints today. That's all I do. It's all I know. And so that's all we're going to talk about. Other sublimation is more of the arts and crafts stuff. This stuff here is sold in art galleries all across the world. It's typically very much high-end and people pay a lot of money for them. And so I'm just going to show you everything that I use to make them and run my business. And to be clear, the artwork here in my office is just random stuff. You can make much nicer prints than what I have hung up. So the first step in this process when I have my photo ready is I have to send it to the printer. And this is an Epson F570 sublimation printer. You can't use a regular inkjet printer. It has to be sublimation, which basically just means sublimation ink. Now you can take a regular inkjet printer and convert it to sublimation. I haven't done it before, so I can't recommend it. This prints 24 inches wide and then up to any length. And then for the paper, I also use a sublimation paper. I'm just gonna take this out here. I'll show you. It's a 24-inch roll by 100 feet of sublimation paper that I buy from Subli Pro. Works great. You do go through quite a bit of paper when you're printing a lot, especially if you're doing larger prints because of the direction you have to print them. If you're doing smaller stuff, this does last quite a long time. Now let's just see if I can feed it back in here. So if you print out a photo from a sublimation printer, you're just going to have a photo with faded colors. The next step in the process is a piece of aluminum like this that you're going to heat press onto. This is basically where the image comes alive. So the photo does not look good when it's first printed out, but after it's done pressing, it looks amazing due to the quality of the top coating on this aluminum. I wish I could explain to you the process of going from a faded photo to something HD on metal. I really don't understand it that well, but it looks great every time. I understand the process, I just don't understand how the photo goes from boring to amazing looking. So this is a 12 by 18 inch sublimation aluminum photo panel. And basically I buy this from Chromolux. They are the most expensive, but they're also the highest quality in the industry by far. I don't really like to substitute on quality, so it's what I go with. There are cheaper options. You can find them online anywhere all across the world. China is a big place for supplying them. They aren't as good, but they are a great place to start if you want to get into this. Again, this is 12 by 18 inches. To give you comparison, this one is 20 by 30 inches. And on the back side is silver, as you noticed, just like that. But you can also sublimate back here with single colors, and I'll show you that at the very end a little bit. If you want a list of every single thing I use and where to buy it, I have it linked below in my community. You can check it out. If not, just search on Google and you can find all of this material. The community is not a course, by the way, because I get asked that a lot. It's basically just an internet forum for making these metal prints. It's something I've been building on the side because a lot of people asked for it and it became really helpful over time. So the next thing you're gonna want is a heat press. Now, you don't need one this big. I started off with something that was quite a bit smaller, but this is a Kilo 24 inch by 32 inch manual heat press. The first one I started off with was a 16 by 20 inch Vevor heat press, and it worked just as great, it's just smaller. When I'm using this heat press, I also use this paper right here. It's just an unwaxed butcher paper I buy on Amazon, and I roll it out and I cover this entire padding on the bottom, and this just helps with moisture and keeping ink off this bottom pad. You use this roll because you swap it out every time you do it, because ink does come off of the prints every time, and it gets, down onto here, either onto the paper or it'll get onto this pad. And what happens is if there's ink, actually this is a used one right here, if you can see this square in the middle of it, that's ink. And if that ink is on there and you put a new panel on top of it for a print, it will actually transfer onto the backside and you will see it. So if you had yellow on a previous photo and then you went to do another print, you'd get yellow on that next print. You don't want that. Also, if you're curious, because a lot of people ask, I press this for 350 degrees, 175 Celsius for 5 minutes. You don't have to go that long. It depends on the press you're using. It works really well for this. I have the pressure turned way up. If you have a smaller press, a lot of times you're good with like 2 minutes at 395 Fahrenheit. I had great results with that as well on my last press. due to the issues with this, or whatever you want to call it, I bumped it up to 5 minutes, 350 degrees, and turned the pressure up quite a lot. A lot of people ask me what press they should buy, and at the end of the day, buy the one that you can afford. Maybe try not to buy the cheapest one, but you also don't need the most expensive. I certainly didn't go with that. Buy whatever you can afford, and it'll work for the time being. As long as it heats evenly and closes evenly, you should be good. And closing evenly is questionable. As you can see, that top part is bent. That's why I have the pressure turned up so high, because it keeps it evened out when I do it. And if you're still curious which part, this side sits in and this part hangs over. So it's definitely off a little bit. So if you end up getting a heat press, you are gonna need one of two things, either an outlet or a power station like I'm using. So if you have a big heat press like I just showed you, you will need 240 volts of power, which is where this comes in. I don't have 240 volts wired into here. That's basically like your dryer. And so I use this, it makes up for it. I charge this in a regular outlet, and then I can plug my heat press into the side of this machine and run my heat press for 1 to 2 hours. If you're just starting out, I recommend buying the smaller heat press, which means you do not need this at all and you don't need a bunch of power. You can use a regular outlet just like this and it should work just fine. You won't have any issues. You can plug it in your bedroom, in your kitchen, wherever you want. You can make pancakes and bacon in the morning with it. I don't recommend buying this, by the way. It was $4,000. I just didn't want to have power run into my last shop, and so I paid for this instead, figuring that I can probably sell it when I'm done or take it into a new shop like I did here. If you have the option, just wire directly into your new shop or stay small with a smaller heat press and use a regular outlet. Once your print is done, maybe you have something like this I did for a video not too long ago, you're gonna need a way to hang it on the wall. And so for these ones, have a magnet hanger that I just created. I don't know if I love them or not yet. We're still gonna keep them around for a little while. Once I run out of these, we may switch to something different. But basically, steel plate adhesive onto the backside, magnet, clicks on, it's got a nail hanger, and it hangs on the wall. It's pretty simple. You have to make these, so I don't really have a place for you to link you for these right now. Maybe I'll sell them in the future, I don't know. You do need a way to hang these though, and so the same place that you buy the Chromlux panels, they also sell hangers for them. They are a metal plate with an MDF back. It sticks on the back side, and it hangs the same way as these. This was just something I made kind of for fun since I've been bored. You don't need this. The other option that you have is the frame on the back side like this. Now this is my absolute favorite. I wish I could do every single print like this. Unfortunately, I don't have access to these frames anymore. Buying these from China is pretty much impossible with the tariffs, and before that, it was very expensive, kind of difficult to get here in the US. And so I wish I had a place to send you to get them. I really don't. My plan is to try and make my own here very soon, here in the shop, buying the stock and then cutting it to length, and then connecting it, building it to whatever size that I need. At that point, I may offer it to other people as a product on my website, custom frame sizes and whatnot. At the moment, that is not an option, but in the future, stick around. I may have a place for you guys to get them. These are aluminum frames, super sturdy, and it just gives it the most high quality look. I only have a few of these left right now, so once I run out, I'm actually gonna be done with them for a little while until I can cut my own. I'm hoping that's in the near future. It could be, it could be next week. Could be next month. I really don't know yet. There are some other options I'm working on, like plates to go on the backside to keep it sturdy and hang it on the wall, large ones. The issue is it would cover something like this, which is a logo that you can print on the back as well. This is what I was talking about, how you can sublimation print on the backside, mostly just single dark colors, because that's what's going to show up best on here. And then if you may have seen when I first showed it, this one also has printing all on the back. I'm not a huge fan of this. I'm actually doing away with this design. Even if I keep the magnets, I would like something a little more simpler. This is a bit, I don't know. Not a big fan of it. I just made it recently, did a few prints with it. Don't love it, so we're gonna swap it out. But this is the possibility with the backside. You can print whatever you want on here. If you wanna learn more about how to make these, you can check out the community. And if you think this is all just too much and confusing, I'd be happy to make you one. My website will be linked below.